Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, E-Steam: The Sands of Time. It's action and adventure in ancient Egypt in this terrific teen time travel romance. Get your copy of E-Steam: The Sands of Time at your favorite online bookseller today. There's this video of a black man who was talking about how he was taking care of his wife by paying all of the bills and the insurance, and how he was taking care of his children and making sure that all of their financial needs were met. And there are some in the so-called black manosphere who call this man a simp. And this term simp has been misused by so many that it's not funny, because when I take a critical examination of the man in that video, which I'm going to leave a link to in the description box, this man is not a simp. This man is a responsible father. And a responsible father and a responsible husband, as a steward under God's natural order, his job is to make sure that his wife's bills are taken care of. Because as the head of household and the steward under God's natural order, it is his responsibility to make sure that his wife is taken care of, and it is his job to make sure that his children are cared for. That is part of his duties as a man, as the leader and head of that household. His job is to make sure that his wife her bills are taken care of, her clothing is taken care of, her food is taken care of, because he has a responsibility to care for that woman until death do us part. That is the vow that man made to that woman as part of the marriage, when he made that commitment to God. And as a married man, it is his responsibility to care for his wife. Moreover, it is also his responsibility to care for his children, making sure that they have food on the table and clothes on their back, and to make sure that their insurance is paid for, the bills for the home are paid for. That is the job of a man, because he made a commitment to God to care for that wife, and he made a commitment to care for those children. And when he does provide for them, he is doing God's work as related to being a father and being a responsible husband and a responsible steward. So that man, who many are trying to call a simp, this is the duties that a man is supposed to do. Now, what's really sad about all of these males out here who watch that video of this man and call him a simp is that they don't understand what the definition of manhood truly is, and they don't really understand the role a man is supposed to play once he gets older. A lot of these younger males who are calling this man a simp, they really come from these female-headed households, and they come from this gynocentric viewpoint of manhood created by feminists, which tell us this idea that a man is supposed to go 50-50 on the bills. And that's not the case at all when it comes down to manhood under God's standard. Your man is supposed to be the one who provides for the home, because he is the head of that home. And the woman really should not be out here working at all, because her job is to be the manager of that household's resources and care and teach the children in that home. That is her job primarily, but your feminists want the woman to be out here working, and most of corporate America wants the woman out here working, because the woman is someone who is the weaker vessel, and because she is led by her emotions, she will go out here and spend money faster than a man. And that benefits corporate America, because with the woman being the consumer, she will go out here and spend money on consumer products for the household, not thinking about what type of damage these types of products are going to do to herself or her children. And even worse, she will indoctrinate the children into this consumer mindset and have them out here thinking that buying expensive, sneakers and gold and jewelry and all these other designer clothes, these are items that have value, but they should be trying to build a family and build a family unit. So instead of them going out to build something when there's no father in the home, all they're thinking about is consuming and going out here and enriching others at their expense. But when I look at this man who is talking about caring for his family and talking about the bills he pays, this is a man, and this is the type of man we need to go out here and praise, because this is what a man is supposed to do. Now, this man in the video says that he doesn't need any sort of reward for doing this, that this is his job. And he is absolutely right when he says that this is something you don't get a reward for. This is something you are supposed to do because the Most High gave you this as the standard for manhood, and this is part of your stewardship as a man, is to go out here and to care for your wife and care for your children. And the God provides for this man to do this because that's all part of what he is supposed to do as a man. And what's really, again, sad about many on the so-called manosphere is that they would deride this man for doing what a man is supposed to do and say that he is submitting to a woman. But I don't see where this man is submitting to a woman if he is the head of his household. He is paying for the bills for his household. He is taking care of his children and teaching his children. This is a responsible father, and it really annoys me to see people talking bad about a responsible father, someone we need more of in the black community, and somebody who we need to follow as a model for manhood. Because when I look at this man and him talking about what he does, this is a man who has his house in order. This is a man who has his house in the place it's supposed to be. This is a man who has his home together. And this is a man who we need to respect because this man has his stuff together. But we have your black males who will call this man a simp, and that's something that shows how dysfunctional they are, because this is not a simp. This is not a beta male. This is a man, and this is a man who meets the standard of manhood under God's natural order. This man is a model for manhood we need to respect, and this is the type of man that more men need to follow the model of, because he is doing the job that we need done in the community. He is the father and head of household. He is the one taking care of his wife. He is the one taking care of his children. He is the one in the home with his children, and he is the one taking care of business in his home. And this is, again, something we need to see more of, because if we saw more fathers in the black community, then we wouldn't have a man crisis in the black community with all of these effeminized and asexualized black males and all of these lost and confused black males who don't understand what the true definition of manhood is. We would have men who would understand their definition of manhood under God's natural order, and not a bunch of black males running around following a gynocentric standard created by black feminists and black women, which changes at every arbitrary point. Instead, we would have a standard established by the Most High, the living God, as related to manhood, and we would have men following God's standard for manhood, and that standard would lead to a higher quality of life in the black community, and it would lead to a strong black family like we had many years ago. If you'd like to learn why so many men are having a hard time understanding what it means to be a man and the definition of manhood, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle formats. And if you want to learn what the true definition of a simp is, you can pick up my book, Stop Simping: Why Men Don't Need Finance to Get Romance, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle formats. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.